Give them a shot to do what?
And that's when I found out what a pearl necklace was. So on this episode, we have Adam Lewis, Dwayne Marcus, Bert. We're going to be talking Tom Brady, getting himself into some real trouble. Possibly. He can't stay out of these gates. We had the Deflate Gate. We had wife cheats on me with the tennis instructor gate. And now in his post career, we have Booth Gate and some NFL questions like, is it panic time for Kansas City? And should we finally get rid of the worst move, the most ugliest thing, the non-football play, the terrible, the ugly, the awful, the only reason the Philadelphia Eagles are successful, Tush Push? Will it be banned?
Wow,
finally?
there he went.
We will find out all that and more next. Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stuff About Sports, presented by the Give Us a Shot Network, powered by Fast Break Coffee, and sponsored, as always, Bert, by the haters. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the first timers, last timers, everydayers. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you can't do any one of those things, I will be fully inclined to believe you are indeed a hater. I am the Facebook felon Jerm. That is the prettier Corey Burt. And with us tonight on a Friday special edition, the realest in real estate, the realest in the state, host of NFL with AJL, Adam Lewis. Round of applause. And also with us, Kevin Durant's cousin, a.k.a. DMV's team captain, a.k.a. the young OG, the Deacon, Dwayne Marcus. Gentlemen, how are you doing this evening?
Marcus, you got to take it first, bro.
I'm currently arguing in my TikTok comments, so.
Oh, beautiful. Right up our alley, man. That's the
typical Friday.
Like. Yeah, I love it, man. That's our vibe. Are you kidding me? Give us the deets.
My Brock Purdy take on the show, Adam, from the other day.
Oh, I mean, it was accurate. Kyle Shanahan is the ultimate substitute my quarterback in this system, and it'll work. I mean, Jimmy G, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones was this guy, so it's not really a surprise. Doing well, man. Good to be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I that's unfair. Because aren't you ones that argue that every quarterback is a system quarterback? So now you're punishing the quarterbacks that are playing for being part of the system. Didn't one of you just tell me that about when we argued about Jalen Hurts? I argued with so many people about it. I could have swore I'm pretty sure it was you, Adam. I'm pretty sure.
I've never called Jalen Hurts a system quarterback.
No.
Yeah, definitely not me, but
I've never.
Not us truthers here.
I think you are the one that says Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback.
Try to box us in.
Oh,
we might be in a box on a panel, but you ain't gonna box me into that take, bro.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yeah, don't hang your nonsense around my neck, but that's all you.
Right, not that albatross.
Yeah,
that's fair. Like, don't listen to me. I'd be lying. I just get up on here and lie. So don't trust me or anything that I say, especially when it comes to my biases, like that fraud Jalen Hurts.
Oh boy.
There you go.
So speaking of, not frauds. He's not a fraud. I'm tripping. But we have.
You're right. Jalen Hurts isn't a fraud. I'm glad you finally.
You all. Jalen Hurts isn't a fraud. Very nice. Let's do the bucket of doom first, Bert. We have updates to the bucket of doom. Let's knock that out real quick. Corey and who else lost? Only two people lost.
Me.
Corey and Dwayne Marcus. That's right. So. As it stands right now, the standings are, of course, I'm not prepared at all for any of this because I just sent it. Here we go.
I'm 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Jerm, you're 2-0. Carl's 2-0. Mike's 2-0. Then we got Dwayne Marcus, after the loss this last week, 1-1. Ty is 1-1. And at the bottom of the fucking barrel, just like his Miami Dolphins, 0-2 is Corey.
Round of
Actually,
applause
now
for Corey.
0-3. 0-3.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey, because anytime Corey loses, it's a win for the network. It's a win for me and Bert, a win for the show. So we are going to pick for week 3. Bert, you're up first. The Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Corey.
I might throw that back.
Corey with the Packers.
Okay.
Best team in the NFC. Best team in the NFC.
Yep. Dwayne Marcus.
Dwayne Marcus is next. Somebody's texting me. Who's that? The Baltimore Ravens. All right.
Jeremy,
Me.
you're up.
The Jets. I will be throw. I love Tyrod Taylor. Shout out to him, but I'm probably going to throw that back. I don't know who they're playing, but it don't matter. Unless they're playing the Panthers. Carl, the Atlanta Falcons. Mike, the Seattle Seahawks. And Ty, the Dallas Cowboys.
Jeremy, I'm going to go ahead and throw mine back.
Yeah, let's throw the Broncos back. Who are the Jets playing?
The Bucks.
I'm throwing that back too. That one. The Washington racial slurs, Bert. Starting Marcus Mariota this week.
Yeah.
I am throwing the Jets back. For sure. Come on, give me somebody nice. The Rams. All right.
Okay.
The second best team in the NFC. So, all right, let's So no Mets talk today. No, I'm tired of the Mets. And today is not the forum to talk about it. There will be a time in the very near future we will talk about the Mets. It ain't going to be
probably
today.
in a week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way things looking, we're losing to Washington right now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so I guess the biggest news out of this week in the NFL kind of came out of nowhere. Everybody saw the clips. Everybody saw the images. Now, whether you believe it's a non-story or a big story or a big deal or not big deal, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like one of those galvanizing things. Like, so now Tom Brady, Fox Sports analyst, wearing a headset in the Raiders coach's box. The league says it's no big deal, but he's a minority owner. He's well within his rights. He can do that. But I'll be honest with you guys. It's like a cop-out to me. That's a cop-out answer, but I'll leave it to you, Bert, or whoever wants to start, your overarching thoughts on the Tom Brady situation with the Raiders sitting in the coach's box, being an owner, also being an analyst for Fox.
Here's what I'll say. As I put down from texting the group their bucket of doom picks for 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Did he do anything wrong by the league standards? No. Technically, he didn't.
Right.
He didn't break any rules. He didn't do anything that they deemed was a violation of any type. However, it feels, and I'm going purely off feeling here, it feels as though the NFL is making exceptions they didn't think that they would have to make, and they keep moving the posts for Tom Brady and what he can and cannot do.
Right.
When he bought a minority stake in the team, and then he had the broadcast, everybody was just like, this seems like it could be a conflict of interest. He has access where most people don't. How can you do both at once? So obviously you have the parameters set up. So, he's got to follow the rules. Same thing once he enters that coaching booth, no electronic devices, everything else. But it feels as though this should not be allowed given the personnel, which I think is why a lot of people are kind of pissed. I also think there's carryover from his player days where they're just tired of seeing this man win and get away with shit is what it comes down to. So it's probably a little bit of that too. So look, in short, well within the rules to do so, 100%. Will that make the Raiders better? No, but I think it's just a matter of kind of an exhaustion that's going on here, where it's just like, man, I'm seeing him everywhere, and it seems as though things are always going his way, even when they feel as though that this should not be right. So my 2 cents on the matter. He's obviously going to still keep doing it.
Adam, should the NFL have a rule against owners also working as broadcasters or consultants for their teams doing the broadcast against teams that they're playing?
I would say yeah, because owners, minority owners, people in the front office have a lot higher ticket activities and items to probably handle than analyzing the team, consulting for the team. That's why you've got the Herb Streets of the world and the Taricos of the world. Like, leave those guys to that, right? I think one thing that, obviously it's not good optics. I mean, you literally put Boothgate in, like, here we go with another gate for Tom Brady, as you said, coming into the show. It's not great optics. And I think you're just going to naturally get some bias, right? Like, if you are having Tom Brady as an analyst during Raiders games, great commentary. I mean, we know that the guy's excellent up in the box, but I just don't think that it's really, a fair stroke of the brush from an analyst to be, someone up in the box that literally has a $400 million investment into the team that he's calling for. And we've seen this in the past before. Like, we've heard, hometown announcers, like on the radio or even for like local games, people will get upset sometimes when the announcer is maybe not favoring the team. And it's like, we don't want Brady to be doing the opposite and automatically have people complaining. You said it as well, Jerm, kind of still having some backlash from his playing days. And I'll just throw one thing out there too that I think is kind of odd that Brady does. Has anybody noticed how he calls the players by their first name? He doesn't say Mahomes. He says Patrick. He says Travis. He says Jalen. And like, it's not a huge deal, but it is very different. And I think if people were so quick to bite past analysts' heads, off when they got into the box, like ironically, notably Drew Brees, who respectfully was not good in the box. I didn't think he was as horrible as other people said, but really just kind of like my 2 cents on it. It's not good optics in terms of what you're looking at with the Raiders, and you're probably going to get some bias in those calls. And Brady's got other better things to do. Commit to one side or the other.
Dwayne Marcus, I mean, in reality, I guess these production meetings with the coaches and stuff, it's not like they're divulging any type like real secrets. But do you see this as like a dangerous precedent, kind of, or like what do you think about do you think Tom Brady should just stop doing this just to avoid any type of controversy, or do you think everything he's doing is okay?
I mean, I think as with everything, there's a question of legality and a question of ethics, right? So like legally, as far as what the NFL allows, he's not doing anything wrong necessarily, but like ethically, it's weird to see Tom Brady, a minority owner for the Raiders, in the box, but also calling the games, but also like sitting in a different press box with the other coordinators or with other members of the front office. Like it's a weird thing to see. And while like Adam said, like in the production meetings, it's not like coaches are, divulging their deepest, darkest secrets as far as what the game plan is for any given week, but also it's almost kind of like, in a way, if I were a coach, like how much would I be willing to share even of the surface level stuff to Tom Brady going into a game against the Raiders if he's going to be calling that game, knowing that he is a minority owner for the team? It's a really weird thing. It falls into that gray area where like he's technically not doing anything wrong as it relates to like by the book, but optics wise, not a good look. But then again, this is the NFL, and the NFL has one of the worst optics of all the major sports leagues in the world. So I guess this isn't anything new for them.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Even if he's not doing anything technically against the rules, you're setting yourself up for, in my opinion, a dangerous precedent, right? Like your credibility as an analyst is tied to the success of the teams that you're asked to critique. So what's next? A player who eventually will get minority stake? I know Caleb Williams tried it, but eventually that's going to happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point, a player will have a minority stake in a team. And now he has to play against another team, a GM calling games for different networks while negotiating a trade or something like that. for, that's directly talking
Yeah, it
to
just
another
gets
player.
really weird, really fast.
Yes, once you start muddying the waters, you can't clean it back up. So yes, this is one of those situations where it's not technically wrong, but it's not right either. And even for the sake of, let's not set something up for the future to make it worse, we probably should just stop this right now. Pick one. There's nothing wrong with you being a minority owner, but you can't be an analyst then, and here's the other problem. They paid him $365 million for 10 years. Like and so
I think it's 375 actually.
375
before even stepping
yeah.
into a booth the
Yeah,
first time, by the way, like sight unseen, like
Yeah.
here you go. This is what you're doing.
I don't even know if he ever signed an AAV contract that big as a quarterback. I don't
know.
think he did.
And he missed the first year of doing it because remember he's recovering from surgery, so he didn't even do it the first year of his contract. Yeah. And so he just got paid for nothing for 1 year. So it's like, but they waited on him because he's Tom Brady. And listen, you can't turn it off. Like, he's Tom Brady. You don't think that the greatest quarterback or most accomplished or one of the greats that we've ever seen, like who lives and breathes football, is just sitting in that booth to enjoy the view? No. He's sitting next to Chip Kelly, who's talking to Brady multiple times. You don't think something is going to get out from some type of production meeting? And then, as I'm saying it, you're now also going to poison the integrity of what those production meetings are. Adam, I think you kind of touched on it. Again, they're not divulging the entire game plan, but some of the access and some of the trust that is built between the broadcasters and some of these coaches are going to completely shut down and give you 100% coach speak. And even the tiniest bit of information, as you said, is not going to, it's going to be a weird thing to the point. It's like, why are we even doing this? Why is this happening? So it's very dangerous what's happening with Tom Brady. I don't know what the NFL is going to do. I think I'm inclined to agree with you guys. I don't think this is going to be anything, especially because the NFL had already come out with a statement saying Tom Brady's not doing anything wrong. But all right, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. That first questionable thing, Tom Brady starts telling plays as soon as they break the huddle. All right, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, see. And it's like, how can we not expect that out of Brady? Like, we saw Romo do it in the box, and this guy was just a whiz. Now we're talking about Brady, who's possibly going to be in these meetings. Like, see, the wheels are just turning as we're in the top again. And Marcus said it well, right? Like, it's just weird. A minority owner probably has a lot better things to do than be analyzing. We're in a tough job market, and we're going to have Tom Brady calling the games for the same team that he has a $400 million investment in. Oh, and by the way, I'm unretiring kinda to come play in Saudi Arabia and throw bombs on a let me not even get into that, but the whole flag football announcement, they're gonna just come out and let him make this announcement. So yeah, a lot of things are sliding for Tom.
I like what you did there, throwing bombs in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, all right, I'm getting canceled. All right, y'all, I'm gonna have to go. Y'all have a good night.
Bro. Listen, you're on Stuff About Sports. We don't get canceled here, bro. We're on Stuff About Sports.
I really didn't even mean to go there. Didn't even mean to go there.
The amount of crazy stuff I've seen. They're buying everything. They're buying WrestleMania. They're going to take WrestleMania from us. They're doing Saudis. They're buying Live Golf. They're buying sports. They're just going to buy sports.
Yeah, that was their big thing. Live Golf was huge.
Crazy, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Tom Brady. All right, on to the NFL. Week 3 is about to start. My Buffalo Bills escaped the Miami Dolphins. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Miami, they came to play.
So yeah, and that's the thing. The problem is people act like they weren't talking about Miami being good until they weren't good the first couple weeks. But all off season, the last couple years, it's all been about how Miami's going to challenge the Bills. But because they had a couple duds the first couple games, now we're supposed to treat them like they're the Panthers or some shit. And nobody's shocked that they played well. Like, they always had the ability to play well. It just they haven't played well so far. And now you're doing it against the Bills, and now for somehow this is turning into an indictment against the Buffalo Bills. And oh my God, the
$55 million albatross at the most important position in team sports as well. So
that's true. It's they talk about the Bills' defense too, even though the defense had made the 2 biggest plays in the 2 games, forcing the fumble and now this interception. Seems like the defense is doing just fine. But this is not a Bills thing. This is about the Bills' arch rival.
Give it to yourself, brother. Give it to yourself.
I mean, 3-0, never a doubt. You know what I'm saying? We the Bills, baby. You feel me?
All right, here we go.
Speaking of a team that it's not going so well for, not so hot. Bert, Kansas City, 0-2 for the first time since 16, which I believe is Patrick Mahomes' rookie year.
Yeah.
It's not that, and you know me, I don't really care if my team loses. I care how we lose.
Mhm.
And it's not that Kansas City is just losing these tight games. Like they don't look good. They just don't look like, outside of Patrick Mahomes and even him in some moments, but he's been probably the only consistent thing they have going. Is it panic time for Kansas City? And when I mean panic, I mean, we might not make the playoffs.
I wouldn't go that far. When you look at it, they played two really good teams. One of them was a Super Bowl rematch, and I'll agree they don't collectively look like they're on the same page, but that doesn't mean they look bad. What we got to remember is I think both games ended up being either a touchdown or a touchdown and a field goal away. So it's like, they're not getting blown out here. They're competing with two fantastic teams in the NFL. I think what will be on watch is this weekend against a Giants team coming off of a fairly offensive game against Dallas, when I think a lot of people had written them off initially, and seeing how they respond. Now, if the Giants end up competing, or if they let the Giants compete, I should say, or even lose, then it might be time. But I think you also, look, we've been talking about optics a lot on this show so far. I think when you look at the optics of, visible frustration of, play calling, or Travis Kelce on the sidelines, just yelling, and I'm sick of this shit. It's stuff like that this early in the season that I think is going to cause a lot of speculation for people to be like, I don't think they're built for it this year. I think their window's closing, time's running out. And, and you add all the off-field stuff to it as well, and some of their big names and high-profile marriages and shit like that, that everybody's just going to sit there and point being like, well, dynasty over, guys. But, we still got to remember one thing. You got Andy Reid as head coach, you got Steve Spagnuolo's defense, and you still have Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks of this generation, with fantastic weapons. And even if he didn't have the weapons, he can make it work. So, they were competitive the first two games. It's week 3. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet, but let's see us next week and see how they do against the Giants. But I wouldn't sweat over this by any means. I just think, they're due.
Adam?
No, absolutely not. When Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, when Andy Reid is your coach, you're always going to be in good hands. Like you said, this is the first time since Patrick Mahomes was a rookie, before he threw for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in the second season, before he won 3 Super Bowls. Okay. I'm not going to go through the accolades. That was the last time that this happened. And, you talk about the Giants that are coming up. Yeah, that was against a garbage defense in the Dallas Cowboys. Steve Spagnuolo has given up 20 and 27 points on the season. The Chiefs have lost by 6 and by 3. And Jerm, I'd like to have you suffer through this if you don't mind. So the Chiefs are 0-2. Just a little peek at their schedule. At the Giants, I think that's a win. So they're 1-2. The Ravens, that's going to be a loss. So that's 1-3. You look at the Jags, that's a win. So that's 2-3. You got the Lions, I think that's a win. So you're at 3-3. They're at 500. Play the Raiders at home. That's another win. They play the Commanders at home. That's another win. So that's 5 wins. They play your Bills. I think that's a loss. So now they're at 5-4. I think they beat the Broncos. That's 6 wins. I think they beat the Colts. I think they beat the Cowboys. I think they beat the Texans. So that's 8 wins there. You got the Chargers at home. That's a redemption win. So you got 9 wins. I think they're going to beat the Titans. They'll probably split with the Broncos, and then I think that they'll sweep the Raiders. So the Chiefs are still coming in at 10 to 12 wins on the year, and the schedule actually favors them. So they're going to have some tough wins, obviously, against your Bills, against the Ravens, and even against the Lions, too. But those are very winnable games for really all 3 of them for them. It's just a matter of how they're going to perform. So, no, I don't think it's panic time.
Dwayne Marcus, come on, man. Take it to the next level with me, man.
First of all, just a point of correction. The last time the Chiefs were 0-2 was 2014. So it was not
14.
Patrick Mahomes' rookie season. He was
my bad.
freshman in college the last time they were.
My bad.
But I think it's too early to panic for any 0-2 team. We're 2 weeks into the season, right? For most of the teams that are 0-2, like Adam's Saints, they knew they were going to be bad this year, right? There is no surprise. But for a team like the Chiefs starting the year 0-2, right? I had to. But for a team, and the Saints are soon to be 0-3, by the way, also. But for a team in the Chiefs, to start 0-2, I don't think it's time to panic, because I do think they're still going to reach double-digit wins, whatever that number is. They'll probably get there. I do, however, think there are things about how they've gotten to 0-2 that are concerning. Right. If you think back to a couple years ago when the offense wasn't really clicking and the Chiefs had one of the best defenses in the NFL and ended up having arguably the best defense rating in the playoffs when they went to the Super Bowl and beat the Eagles the first time. So that was 2022. You had to think about in that playoff series in that playoff run, how Pat Mahomes had to use his legs a lot more to like extend plays, to pick up first downs on third down, to pick up first downs on fourth down, to even score touchdowns. So far through 2 weeks, he's been the leading rusher on their team in back-to-back weeks. That's a problem. Rashee Rice not being available because he doesn't know how to drive a car. That's a problem. Xavier Worthy not being available because Travis Kelce doesn't know how to run a route. That's a problem. Travis Kelce not knowing how to run routes and catch footballs because he's too busy planning a wedding. That's a problem. Them not having a run game despite having Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt in the backfield. That's a problem. There are a lot of problems with the Kansas City Chiefs so far through 2 weeks in the season, but I don't think it's time to panic yet, because this is still a Kansas City Chiefs team with Pat Mahomes under center. This is still a Kansas City Chiefs team with Andy Reid on the sidelines. This is still a Kansas City Chiefs team with Steve Spagnuolo on the sidelines, and this is still a Kansas City Chiefs team that on defense has a lot of talent. Like they held the Philadelphia Eagles to 20 points. That there are no more victories in sports, but that's a win, right? They played relatively well against the Chargers, a team that they normally are in shootouts with. That's a win defensively, right? They need to figure out what they're doing on offense, but no, it's not time to panic. Now, I don't know if they're going to go in to New York and get a win there. I don't know if we can just say that that's so cut and dry, considering how Kansas City has looked in their losses and how the Giants have looked in their losses. But I don't think it's time to panic. Now, they're getting blown out back-to-back weeks and just looking god-awful on both sides of the ball. Maybe it's time to panic. But even in that regard, 2 weeks into the season, when they don't have all their players available, it's way too early to be panicking for the Kansas City Chiefs.
So, in my opinion, the Chiefs are done as serious championship contenders. Right now, Mahomes is the offense, and we've seen how that's worked out for guys like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow.
He's better than all of them.
I mean, is he?
Yeah.
Josh Allen in the same position a few years ago was still reaching AFC title games, was still...
We're 2 weeks into the season, brother.
I got you. We're just projecting. This is the first time we've seen a human Patrick Mahomes without a stacked roster, without the best available at every position. And it was never going to be sustainable, and they should be applauded for drafting well and maintaining talent. But this is what happens to all great teams. You're good for a while, and eventually everybody needs to get paid, and you can't do it all the time. And now there's this lull that they're heading. It doesn't help that you have players that can't keep them hands to themselves and they're getting suspended, or they're getting run into by Mr. Swift and dislocating their shoulders, and they have no running game now. So it's like, now this is the first time we've actually seen Patrick Mahomes have to carry a team without the benefit of having the best receiver in the game at the time, without the benefit of having the best tight end at the time, without the benefit of having all these healthy, young defensive pass rushers and the great offensive line. These things will eventually go away, whether due to age, which is mostly what we're seeing, or the money gets too big for some of the skill players, which we've seen, which is why Kareem Hunt had to go away. And we already know the lifespan of running backs. Tyreek Hill, obviously not having a great time in Miami, depending on the weather. And so now we actually have to see Patrick Mahomes do what Lamar Jackson had to do all those years. We had to see what Josh Allen had to do, and still to a degree still has to do. And now we're going to see how good Patrick Mahomes really is, because we know what the bar is with winning divisions like Lamar and Josh has with subpar talent, while Patrick Mahomes got to feast and create one of the greatest starts to an NFL career we've ever seen in a as perfect as you can be conditions. Now that he no longer has it, let's see how great he really is. And this is what people have been waiting for. At some point, we got to see you do it without having a bomb squad, and they don't have that anymore. So let's see what happens.
You sound a little bitter, Jerm. There's
He's
Oh,
bitter
no.
as hell.
There's a
Oh, no.
hint.
He's so mad.
There's a hint of bitterness. It's almost as if like you wish Josh Allen would win more playoff games early in his career. I don't know. I can't. Like I understand what you're saying. I don't, but like I do, right? Like
No, you just don't agree with what I'm saying. You understand it, and because you know it's logical, you just don't agree.
Like, well, I don't understand and I don't agree. I can't get jiggy with the. This is the first time we've seen Patrick Mahomes with like subpar talent, because after Tyreek Hill left, he still won himself a Super Bowl, right? And it was just him and Travis Kelce. Like this isn't the first time that we've seen Pat Mahomes without subpar talent. And again, both
those Super Bowls, they had the healthiest and best defensive line. Like that's what got them. It was like role reversal with the Eagles.
And I'm glad you said that,
even
because
with those D lines, they beat the 49ers because the 49ers didn't know the overtime rules, and they beat the Eagles because Jalen Hurts fumbled late in the game. So even with that, it's not like they won because they were smacking teams around in those Super Bowls the way they got smacked around against Tampa Bay. Like my point is, I understand where you're coming from the sense of like, yes, this is the first time we're seeing Pat Mahomes in a position similar to what we've seen Josh Allen have to do all these years. People, and I'm going to say people allege Lamar Jackson has to do, because if you really look at the talent Lamar Jackson has had and what he's like, Lamar Jackson had 1,000-yard rusher the year he won MVP. And Lamar Jackson has had multiple seasons where he's had multiple receivers get at least 750 receiving yards. Oh, and by the way, Mark Andrews, top 5 tight end in the NFL for most of his career. So like, I don't know where that part comes from, but there's no Xavier Worthy. There's no Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce doesn't look great. I got you. And the running game is underwhelming. So this would be different if Worthy were healthy and available and Rashee Rice were playing and they looked this way and they were getting blown out. I don't know if we can say that we can panic when everybody's not there yet. Like, we know this offense looked different when everybody's available. And that's a part of the reason why Travis Kelce doesn't look great, is because we're back to a couple years ago when Travis Kelce was the number one guy, had to be all the time, and he hasn't been in that position in a long time. And it's been quite some time, if we're being honest, since the Chiefs have had a subpar run game. Like they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a year or two. And then obviously now they have Isaiah Pacheco. Like they've had a pretty solid front run game consistent. I would say this is the first time in Pat Mahomes' career that the run game hasn't at least looked like it can be a top 12, maybe top 10 run game in the NFL. So I feel like we have to wait to see what they look like when everybody's healthy and available before we can start talking about what they can or can't do, what Pat can or can't do, whether we should or shouldn't be panicking.
Copy. NFC West, surprisingly good this year. Bert, biggest surprise out of the NFC West: the Cardinals, the Niners, or the LA Rams?
I mean, the obvious is the Rams, right? But I think the biggest surprise is 2 years in a row you have a banged up 49ers squad. It's just like not even in shape to compete. So I know it's a negative takeaway, but I probably have to go with that.
Cool. Dwayne Marcus?
It's the Cardinals for me anyway. The Cardinals are very talented. I do agree with that. Big fan of Trey McBride. We love what Maserati Marv is. Shout out James Conner for kind of reviving his career a little bit in Arizona. No surprise to me about like the Rams, because I think when you go out and you get Devontae Adams, like you expect the offense to kind of look this way. I think they can look a little bit better, but I think, you expect them to look this way and how they've looked. And the 49ers, I said this with Adam the other day, like Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, same guy. You put them in the lineup, you can't tell who's who. So to see them come out there and look the way that they did against New Orleans, I get it. It was New Orleans, but like Mac Jones, nearly 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, had a 114 pass rating or something like that. He looked really, really good. Brock Purdy probably plays the same way. I think you look at Arizona and you say that Arizona for me is most surprising because I don't anyway ever expect the Arizona Cardinals to compete with Kyler Murray under center. Not because he's bad, but because he's the epitome of average, right? Like for as long as Jimmy G was in San Francisco, I thought all quarterbacks were either above or below the Jimmy G line. I thought he was the perfect mediocre, right? I think Kyler Murray has replaced him as that. Like I think now when I judge quarterbacks, it's are you above or are you below the Kyler Murray line? Kyler Murray's look pretty good through 2 weeks. We'll see what happens in like November, December when his favorite video game comes out, and then we'll see kind of how things look from there. But it is a little bit surprising to see the Cardinals at 2-0. I mean, but then again, they haven't played like super tough teams or anything like that. But that would be my surprise. I mean, the Niners having injuries, like the sky's blue, grass is green. That's just kind of what happens at this point with San Francisco.
Death, taxes, and Niners injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there are 3 guarantees in life, and that's one of them. So,
Adam?
Yeah, I got to say it's the Cardinals as well. I feel like the Cardinals don't get as much credit as they should, but it's because of how they perform. I mean, when you look at a coach in Jonathan Gannon who came off of a Super Bowl contending team in the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously he was the defensive coordinator. Kyler Murray taken #1 overall, paid a very nice contract. I think Kyler Murray is arguably a top 3 to 5 quarterback talent-wise in the NFL, but execution week over week, falling to the epitome of average, like Marcus says. And I hate to say it because I really like Kyler Murray as a quarterback. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously Trey McBride, one of the better tight ends in the NFL coming around, shockingly. James Conner. They go and get Josh Sweat. You draft I think it was Walter Nolan that they pick up out of Ole Miss. Like, they had a very solid NFL draft as well. And, to see them at 2-0, I don't know if anyone really expected them to be here. The Rams, I really kind of anticipated them being the best team in the division. I wish the Seahawks were on here. I guess it's because they're 1-1, but I thought the Seahawks were a sleeper team coming in. They look solid too. And then the Niners are just one of the best coach teams in the NFL. So I think with Kyle Shanahan, it's just a testament to the man can't win a Super Bowl, but he can win you 8 to 10 games with 12 people on IR, and he can flop a quarterback in and out and get an excuse for trading up for a guy like Trey Lance and still be heralded as a top 3 to 5 coach in the league. So I got to say it's the Cardinals that are the most surprising out of the NFC West.
Where do y'all rank Kyle Shanahan as a coach all time? I don't know about all time. The way he can make any QB look at least serviceable.
Time.
He coached Jimmy G to a Super Bowl for crying out loud. So I don't know where he ranks all time. You have to win. Like when we like, it's different. We can rank quarterbacks because
what?
Right, but to American Eagle's point, he should get some flowers. He should get some flowers because he's right. You guys just gave him praise for basically saying that he made Mac Jones, who nobody expected anything out of, and everybody had all this nice stuff to say about Brock Purdy, and they're still successful. That's why the Niners are the most impressive team. You guys talk about the Cardinals. You didn't ask Cardinals.
Impressive. You said most surprising.
Surprising, whatever. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the Cardinals. Surprising, impressive, whatever. The Cardinals barely beat the Panthers, and then sorry, Adam, you're the Saints. They're awful. Like, you know what I mean? And then
because Kellen Moore came out.
Yeah,
with
that's
a
the surprising part.
Plan.
They're 2-0 when they shouldn't be. That's what's surprising about them being undefeated.
Yeah, but they should be, because they should be better with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray, better than the Panthers. The only 2 teams that would be worse than them, the only 2 teams I would give a guaranteed win for, is the damn Saints and the Panthers. And the Panthers almost beat them. So for me, it's the Niners, and it's not the Rams for the addition. They already had the best receiver in the game with Puka Nacua. Matt Stafford, top 5 quarterback in the game. And then they have Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua is the best receiver in the NFL currently. Yeah, but right now, Puka Nacua for sure.
Wow,
what are you smoking?
Go look at when this show's over. Go look at the numbers, and then I'll accept your apology via text later. So the reason why it's the
comeback,
it's
confirmed stat merchant status.
It's the Matt. It's Matt. It's the Niners because of everything that we've talked about in terms of not having a marquee receiver. All they have really is Christian McCaffrey and no Brock. Now you lose your starting quarterback. You're still able to find ways to win. That's surprising. Like that's all. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll give you that flop there. I'll flop over and say that it probably is the Niners that are the most impressive.
Oh, nice.
But it's again, like with the comment from American Eagle, like, it doesn't shock me that Shanahan can do that. You know, I guess I'm more shocked by a coach in Jonathan Gannon who actually has his team at 2-0. But again, it's the Saints and the Panthers. So, it's weird to talk about real versus not real, 14 days into the NFL season.
Yeah, but we got to talk about something. So here we are.
No, for sure.
All right, y'all. Simple, plain and simple, Bert.
Been chomping at the bit for this one.
Are the Eagles 3 weeks in? Now we're starting week 3. The best team in the NFC?
No.
Hell yeah. See, that's my guy.
No,
I mean, you would have my back.
Dude, we did this last week too, and I said the same thing. I mentioned Dwayne Marcus's Packers up there, who are looking super crisp.
Ah,
No, dude,
You don't
look,
want us to
Eagles,
jinx them.
They are.
no, it's not
if
even
I
a
could-
jinx
they
thing.
put-
It's
what
this
is it?
This is so prisoner of the moment. It's disgusting. Stop
Look
it.
at Jerm, this is what happens.
Bro is
I mean,
offended by his
he
teams
wants
being praised.
he just wants to be sad all the time. He's Drake.
No, I don't.
Like, he just
We're
wants
not
like,
better
he
than the
wants-
Eagles,
Drake.
bro. We're
No.
not
Based
better
on
than
what?
Eagles.
Based on what, Dwayne Marcus? This is
They have a
foolishness.
better receiver core than we do. They have a better running back than we do. They have a better tight end, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker room, secondary. They are a better football team than we are.
on
The
paper.
only thing, hold on, wait a second. It's not just on paper. This is not just an on paper thing. I understand
100% on
the
paper
Eagles
because they haven't played against each other. So as of right now, it is.
Well, we're not going to
absolutely
see them
on
play
paper.
each other until November. So, like, by then, it's not even worth having the conversation. I understand that the Packers have looked really, really good so far for 2 weeks. And believe me, at work, I've had a blast because I get clowned because I'm a black person from DC who's not a Commanders fan. And I've got nothing but Commanders fans at work. So the Friday after we put belt on the Commanders, lovely Friday for me at work. I was late, actually, because I was up all night watching that game. And then I did a show with Adam. But here's the thing. I
Yeah, we
can't
did.
say for certain that the Packers are better than the Eagles when, number one, Micah Parsons on a pitch count. Number two, our best receiver is out with a broken collarbone for the next couple weeks. Number three, and more importantly, we haven't actually seen this offensive line like play against a defensive line worth being worried about. We played the Lions D-line and we played the Commanders D-line. I look at the Eagles. Yeah, their offense is underwhelming, but they still have a better quarterback, a better offensive line, and overall, they've like played better football than we have. Both of our games have been blowouts. And if by blowing teams out, that means we're better, like fine. But I'd like to see what my team looks like in adverse situations when things aren't working and we need to go to playing B, C, and D before I just overwhelmingly decide that my favorite team is better than the reigning Super Bowl champions who, oh, by the way, put their foot in our heinies the last time we were on the field together. And they look like it's the same team and they're going to be better. Again, I think we're being so prisoner of the moment because the Packers have looked better than the Eagles have looked, despite the fact that the Eagles are still a better football team. Like, they're still the better team by every stretch of the imagination. There is nothing that we have that's better than them except for our head coach. I am not at all a fan of Nick Sirianni, and I will die on that hill. I don't think he's a good head coach at all.
You just sat here and said, I feel like we're prisoners of the moment. And I mean, no disrespect, but no shit. We're 2 weeks into the season. We're every week we are prisoners of the moment here. And I understand not
You
only
of all
from a
people, Bert,
fan's
should not be doing
standpoint-
this to me.
Hey, listen, if we
You can't-
if
you're
we
the voice of
rewind
reason.
the tapes, how many
You're the
times
voice
have
of reason.
I know. This is why you should listen. But you have to understand the Eagles, yes, but like, okay, we were talking about the Chiefs before, and how many times every year has we hit a rough spot and we said, I don't know, but no, hey, they're the Chiefs. You went to that Super Bowl champion argument before. That was last year, man. Like, we have to look at the sample size we have this year. And look, I'm not saying that the Eagles are a bad team by any means. Jerm asked the question, do I think they're the best team in the NFC? And as of right now, I don't. And
Well, okay, well, let me
fact
just-
that, go ahead.
Hold on. Go ahead. I just want to say this. I also don't think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, but what I'm saying is the Packers are also not the best team in the NFC. That's what I'm saying. That's my argument. It's not that
Okay.
I'm not arguing that the Eagles are.
Okay,
I'm
so
saying that
stop
the Eagles
dancing.
are
Who
still
is it
better
then?
Yeah, who is it then? Let's go.
Oh, the Buccaneers
Right.
are absolutely the best team in the NFC right
That's not a bad take.
Absolutely.
That's
I'm not
not
mad
a
at
Tampa
bad
Bay
take.
Buccaneers
I'm
are
not
100%
either,
the
but
best team in the NFC right now. I'm just arguing that the Packers aren't the best team in the NFC.
Well, the Packers are because they're fourth in offensive rating, they're ninth in defensive rating, while the Eagles' offensive rating is 21st and their defensive rating is ninth. They're literally better. I just sat there while you were ranting and trying to convince us that you're not a Packers fan, by the way, because it sounded like you were more like an Eagles fan than a Packers fan. You were defending the Eagles. They're better literally at everything. Dwayne Marcus.
Do you guys
so-
remember like 2.5 years ago?
No,
Every
because we're
time
talking about
hold on, no,
2025.
Hold on. Listen. This
Yeah.
isn't a football thing. I just want to say,
Oh.
do you guys remember like 2.5 years ago when I was first coming? Bert remembers. I know he does. He's got a great memory. Do you remember when I was like first coming on the show and all of my arguments were stat based and Jerm would get mad at me for making stat based arguments? And now here we are, the year of our Lord 2025, and twice now on this show, Jerm is making stat based arguments that he doesn't even believe. Like Jerm is going to sit here and tell us that the Eagles are not the best team in the they're not the best team in the NFC simply because that helps him support his take that Jalen Hurts isn't one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, that's what this is. And I just want people.
He's a selective
I
stat
just
watcher.
want people who are watching to understand that Jerm actually doesn't believe that the Eagles are the best team or not the best team. He doesn't believe this. He just needs to stay consistent with his take that Jalen Hurts sucks.
Yeah.
That's all this is. So I'm going to let you get your stuff off because this is your show and you want to be the moderator. But I just want you to know, Jerm, that I know that you don't believe what you're saying. Go ahead.
First off, what I will say is that the biggest room I'll ever be in is the room for growth. And sometimes I learn. I have to learn that, hey, sometimes stats are important. But in my case, even with the best
Numbers
team in the
don't lie,
NFC,
but they don't tell the context.
but there is no context. The Eagles, like, watch the games. Like, just even without stats, the Eagles
Yes,
don't look
thank
good.
you. Watch the games.
The Eagles don't look good. They don't. We are. That's what I'm saying. Even if you watch the games, the Eagles clearly have offensive issues. Jalen Hurts not throwing for more than 150 yards in a game is not good. Like, you can't watch what Baker did and that magical comeback. And I agree with you. I think the Buccaneers are also better than the Eagles. I see the Green Bay has just been dominant. Like,
They're playing. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. They're playing what?
The Bucks are 100% playing better than the Eagles. Here's my take on it. On paper, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. On paper, the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFL because they were able to bring back all 22. And if they didn't, they had a Jahad Campbell. Obviously, we know they had some players go out. So let me not say that they brought back the all 22, but they brought back the core. But the way that they are executing is not better than the Packers right now. Right. It is not better than the Buccaneers right now. You know what I mean? And you can maybe even argue that it's not even better than the Rams right now, just with the way that these teams have looked. But we also have to be real that the Eagles lost their best defensive player before they could play a snap with him to open the NFL season in week 1. And then they had a Super Bowl rematch into which, in all reality, they had 2 false starts on the dreadful play that we're going to talk about here soon. So on paper, the Eagles are without question the best team in the NFC and probably the best team in the NFL. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. We don't need to go through it. We know who's in the front office, like all the way up to Howie Roseman, right? Like, he has to be accounted for when you talk about the greatness of this team because of how they've drafted. But yeah, the Eagles are not the best team in the NFC. On paper, yes, they are, but the way that they're playing, no. I'd probably give that to really the Buccaneers, and shout out to Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, for real. The games are not played on paper. We've seen super teams in every sport get together and fall flat on their face. I hate this. I hate the on paper. Yes, on paper, I guess but that's not a great predictor of what's going to happen. Like, we've just seen it. What I will say, and this notion,
and it's almost like, damn, do you look at Sirianni for coaching? But I don't even think it's that. I think it's just really the games that they've played. The Chiefs are not a bad football team. Spagnuolo and Fangio are probably the first and second best D coordinators in the league. And we saw that was a defensive coordinator's standoff in week 2 with the Super Bowl rematch, in my opinion.
But you got to play the games. And what happens is, I keep seeing it on these power rankings. People are giving the Eagles credit for shit they did last year. And this term of reigning defending, the Eagles are not the reigning defending champions. They were the 2024 champions, and we are in 2025. This isn't boxing where the Eagles have to defend the Lombardi. There's a chance they don't even play in the game. They're not reigning. You can't reign and defend in a season where a champion is crowned every year.
They are the reigning Super Bowl champions.
We're in a new season. No, they were the 2024 Super Bowl champions.
I agree with you. They're not defending.
There is no Super Bowl champion this year.
This man has an agenda.
There is no Super Bowl champion right now. There is none. It's 2020. It's a new season.
Time out.
This isn't boxing.
I do agree with you. They're not defending.
There's no belt to
be
hand over.
defending it unless
just
they're
a
in the
Lombardi
Super
that
Bowl
goes in
next
the locker
year.
room.
I'm with you there.
Yeah,
but they are currently the reigning Super Bowl champion.
Reigning of what? They won the Super Bowl in 2025-26 season. This season that we're playing in, they're reigning
the current Super Bowl champion. Jerry.
How are they defending it?
February 9th.
I just said they're not defending it.
So how are they reigning? How are they reigning if they're not
when you win a
defending it?
Because they're
championship,
the last
you're the
ones
reigning
to win it.
champion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how that
Has an
works.
agenda.
Thank you, Bert.
They're the champions until
Let
someone
the
else
Bills,
wins it.
let the Bills would have
Jerm.
won that thing back on
Jerm.
February 9th, and his tune would
Yeah,
be
you'd be
way
walking around
different.
saying we're the
No.
reigning Super Bowl champions. Get out of here.
No, I would say I would.
call Josh Allen the reigning Super Bowl.
Yeah, like get out of here. So let me ask you a question. Let me, wait, come on. Wait, hold on. This is great. This is a great question. Speaking of the Bills, great question. Is Josh Allen the reigning MVP right now?
No, he's last season's MVP. I don't want.
No, he's the reigning MVP. He is the current MVP. He is the MVP right now.
He was the MVP of the 2025 season or 2024-25 season.
Dude, he is the
He's not the reigning.
MVP.
He's not. He's not stepping in the ring and going to hand over the MVP to somebody. They're going to crown a new one. If he wins it again, then he's two-time, which is what they do to Lamar. They're not saying he's still the MVP. He's a two-time MVP. He's a three-time MVP. They don't just say, hey, it's not a continuous. He's not a continuous MVP. When Lamar Jackson won it again, he was a two-time MVP. That's not reigning. That's not defending. That's winning it again. So the Eagles did not.
In the world, so to use your boxing analogy, if you're the world champ and then you lose it and then you win it again, yeah, you're a multi-time champion.
How did I lose it? How did I lose it? Who did I lose it to?
Beat you for it. What do you
Exactly. Nobody. The Eagles can't defend the champion because the first game of the season.
About defending.
So does that mean they have
So
to
how
go
can you?
back to
Yes,
defending?
you
Does that mean
can't.
they
You
have to go
can't.
back to the Super Bowl to rightfully defend their championship. Is that
No,
what you're
it's
saying
no.
based on
It's
this-
just they
based
win.
on this
They won the
theoretical
Super
argument?
Bowl. No, because
The Eagles
again,
are the reigning Super Bowl champion, bro. Like,
the Dallas Cowboys.
It's
The Dallas.
because it's Philly. It is because Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP.
How many Super Bowls did the Patriots win in a row?
in a row,
Yeah.
they won 2 in a row in 03 and 04.
So are we only
They were
counting?
back-to-back
Are we only going to?
Super champions.
Right. So are we only counting one Super Bowl because they're reigning and defending? No, it's separate. They're separate Super Bowls because they're separate seasons. This
That
is
doesn't mean
again.
they're not still the reigning champs.
You can't be a
You
reigning champ if
refer
you're
to them as the Super Bowl champion Eagles. That is what they are. They are
because
the Eagles.
They won the last Super Bowl, but they're
So
not.
they are
They're,
the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Yes, that is what.
and that doesn't
And if the
negate
Bills win
the,
the Super Bowl in February, then the Bills are the reigning Super Bowl champions. And if they win it again, they're the reigning back-to-back Super Bowl. This is a very simple concept, Jerm. One
that's
that has
not a
existed
simple.
for
That is
100
simple.
years.
That's why I'm really
Because
upset
the
that you're not getting it.
It's just
It's
because of the
Eagles.
because of the
I
Eagles. You're
respect
absolutely
it.
right.
This man is
If it was
standing
any
on
other
business.
team, we
and
would
goes
not be
down.
arguing about the semantics of the reigning Super Bowl champion.
Yo, man, fuck all that. Yo, should the Tush Push be banned? Fuck it. Like, is it like, are they gonna ban this motherfucking move?
He's like, let me continue my agenda.
He's pissed. No, they should ban the Tush Push though. And I think when you have the greatest quarterback of all time and a rules analyst in like the same game, almost back to back, express their displeasure with the Tush Push, I think it needs to be banned. I think the tough thing is, in one way, like I understand why it's not banned, because of the argument for it being banned is because it's an unsafe play. There's no data or statistics that shows that the Tush Push is an unsafe play. However, they've banned chop blocks and low blocks and a bunch of other plays that statistically and data or moves in the football that by data doesn't show that it causes injuries. But when you look at the way that it's officiated and you look at how difficult it is to decide things, right? I think back to the touchdown that they had to review for like what seemed like forever because they couldn't find the ball, right? And then there was one later in the game where the Chiefs come out of the scrum with the ball saying that he fumbled, and there's no way to review that to get conclusive evidence from it because the ball is in the middle of a mass of 200+ pound men in the middle of a football field. It should be banned. It's stupid. They false start on it almost every time, and they don't line up the ball correctly, and no one calls it because it's fractions of a second, as Jason Kelsey said, which, by the way, dumbest argument ever. Like, if it's a false start, it's a false start every time, whether it's a fraction of a second or a whole second.
Very clear, too.
So, and also Jason, now in Jason Kelsey's defense, he's just supposed to say that because he is a Philadelphia Eagle for life, and he did run that. Like, he's supposed to defend it, but I do think the Tush Push will be banned, not because other teams don't run it successfully, but just because it is a play that is poorly officiated, and it's annoying, and it's dumb, and it's stupid, and they ran it 7 times on Sunday. And that's awful. That's not appealing. Like it's also not a play that is appealing to the eye. You've never seen a Tush Push highlight in your life, ever.
Unless it's to win a game. American Eagle says if the refs can't call offsides from the offensive tackles, then they can't see what's going on. and they should ban it. Right. So that is in crux of the thing. So the Eagles, what they did, there's two things that they did wrong with it. The center is continuously hovering over the ball and covering it, and the guards are always shifted up. For that simple reason, that's a technically illegal formation and offsides in the same play. So again, I don't have a problem with the tush push per se. It accounts for 60% of the Eagles' goal line touchdowns. That's gross. Like that, 60. They run it 7 times in a game. This rugby play, and if the refs, and so what they'll say is Eagles run it better than anybody, as they should, because they're the ones that kind of like brought it to the NFL. But also, if they already know the nuances on how to kind of hide the play, and every other team is lining up correctly, the chances of other teams not running it as successfully because they're doing it the way it's supposed to be done according to the rules, of course they're not going to be as successful. So are the Eagles successful because they're just that dope at doing it? Or is it because they know where they can get away with kind of getting every little micro advantage they can get? And so that's the question they have to ask. But Dwayne Marcus, you're right. If the refs can't officiate it, which they clearly can't, and I expect some whistles this week coming up if they try to run it. It'll be interesting to see how many times they try it this week, now that the microscope's going to be on them. Then they should ban it, not because it's like a play that they're really successful with. They should ban it because the refs really can't officiate it. Like if the refs decide, hey, there's too much congestion there, I can't see the ball, like that. For that reason right there is why they should ban it. Adam?
Yeah, there's this saying in real estate that the law is slow to react, and we have to have an example of something in order for the law to react. And I think we finally have that with the tush push. And I think with just what we saw with it on Sunday, 7 times, multiple false starts, some of them occurring in points, really at pivotal moments of the game, the NFL literally came out and said, quote, "We need the officials to officiate this play tight." They made tape about it. They sent it to all 32 NFL teams. And they literally came out and said that the offense needs to be virtually perfect on the play in order for them to basically get away with it so they can officiate it correctly. The NFL has already acknowledged that it is a very hard play to officiate. And I don't know how after this, like you take this game as an example. You're advising every team. You're telling on one of the most, maybe the most difficult play in NFL history to officiate it tight, but the offense needs to be perfect. We can't even call 10, 15 holding penalties a game, but we're supposed to be perfect on a weird, and I've been a tush push advocate. Stop it, right? Like stop the play. If you are the defense, if it's such a simple play that's ugly, stop it then. If it's not a schematically sound play, then stop it. But now we're allowed to change our opinion as we have different evidence. This is the nail in the coffin. This is the X marks the spot. This is the smoking gun for the tush push. It was very clear. And now we have even more analysts and NFL historians and scientists of the game, students of the game, digging into it and really exposing what we were not hearing about 365 days ago about this play. They had the opportunity to outlaw this in March. And they didn't. And now in a Super Bowl rematch that was gaffed in a 425 window that easily should have been a Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football game, experienced this. They have to get rid of it. It's not even unfortunate, but you can only have a loophole for so long. Again, the law is usually slow to react until there is something exposed, and then we have to prevent it somehow. If it's a difficult play to officiate, why keep getting scrutinized? Just come out and ban it. Yeah. The Eagles already won their Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts already has the numbers. The 60% of their goal line touchdowns, like that's already there. They have benefited well enough off of it. Got to get rid of it.
Bert,
something that just came to mind real quick. Something I just thought about. Do you guys remember? I know you guys do, Bert and Jerm, back when you were, in the 1800s. Do you remember when there was a rule where like you couldn't push running backs forward, right?
Yeah.
And then even like how they had changed the rule where on field goals you couldn't line up directly in front of the center, one for safety reasons, but also to make sure they can see the ball. Like to go from those, like banning those two plays and line in formations to now having a play where 3 grown men line up behind the offensive line and then push the quarterback forward just feels very hypocritical on the part of the NFL. Not surprising at all again, because this is the NFL, but it's just, if there was a time in football where you couldn't push the running back forward, how is that any different from what we're seeing with the tush push, regardless of whether it's officiated well or not? Like, this is quite literally the same thing that you banned 10, 15 years ago, but just a different position. It's just a weird thing that just hit me when Adam was talking.
Yeah, I don't know how
now
they
you're allowed to
justify
push
it,
running
but
backs forwards, though. Yeah, so it's like the tush push has been legalized then.
essentially, yeah. I mean, but it just goes back to the argument we had at the top of the show talking about Tom Brady. It's like, it's one of the NFL is one of the most inconsistent, I guess, regulators when it comes down to their individual rules, plain and simple. And look, I mean, I feel as though this is something we talk about frequently. I mean, they voted to not ban it. Should it be? I guess. From an Eagles fan standpoint, you better hope it's not, obviously, because it's so successful. But to the same point too, I mean, you have a lot of people that will be pointing saying, you only got that Super Bowl because Tush Push wasn't banned back then. You were able to get it because you're all a bunch of cheaters. So I mean, look, will it probably be reintroduced at the end of the season to vote to ban it again? Likely. And I honestly, I don't think it's going to happen.
This game.
They might.
You don't think it'll happen?
I don't.
Wow. That'll be huge.
It missed votes by 2. I honestly think they've secured these 2 votes now. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. And Marcus and I were talking about it, like when we were talking about the whole Jalen Carter, suspension, and the NFL was like, yeah, we're going to suspend him. And then, oh, well, now we're not. We're just going to fine him a measly $57,000. And then, oh, the game that we tossed him for, we're going to suspend him. Just like, Bert was saying, that the NFL is very inconsistent. And then, here they come around with this. So it's like, what are they going to do? How are they going to really justify this if they do keep it around? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Bert, who is the most fraudulent 2-0 team? And you can throw 3-0 since the Bills have already played in one, but we know you have more sense than to include the Bills in that. But there's teams that are 2-0. I was going to add the 0-2 teams, but I feel like the Chiefs are probably the most easiest, like, the best 0-2 team.
Yeah, the 0-2 panic meter, the whole thing that people do. I'm like, everyone really does suck though, besides the Chiefs. Like, right. Saints are bad, Giants are bad, like Panthers are bad.
So Bert, the most fraudulent 2-0 team, who do you think that is?
Don't piss me off.
Man, I don't. No, I mean, come on. I had to keep thinking about this one because I truly don't know, but like, I think what gets me is the word fraudulent, because at the time it wasn't. But if I'm looking at the Bengals now with the Joe Burrow industry, are they a fraudulent 2-0 team? Do we think they're going to remain even remotely competitive? Do we, Dwayne Marcus, without your boy?
Bro, I knew you were going to fall for the bait. I knew somebody was going to fall for this. Why are we ignoring
it? Was either that or the Colts, but like, I mean, the Daniel Jones is fucking
Indiana Jones.
I forgot. I'm talking to a Giants fan. I forgot.
Danny Dimes is playing,
but Danny Dimes is playing great. I don't think he's basically, I think, what was it? Like each one of their positions, they haven't punted once or something. I read it was just insane.
Not punted once.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, granted, he only threw for 2 touchdowns, but still he's moving chains. He's being the manager we knew he could be. And of course, like everything that, flies away and does better somewhere else outside of New York. But here I am. But I'm looking at all other 2-0 teams, and I don't know which other ones I can call frauds at the moment. But Dwayne Marcus, please enlighten me.
Well, don't say it like that. I'm just saying. I just think you picked the low hanging fruit. That's all. I just think you did what Jerm does when he wakes up on Saturday mornings for clicks and views. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, listen, Daniel Jones is leading his team. He's not getting pushed in the ass by 5 dudes and throwing for 100 yards a game and getting called an MVP.
Jalen Hurts is still better.
Go ahead, Dwayne Marcus. Go ahead.
I think the most fraudulent 2-0 team is the team that beat the worst teams to beat 2-0. So that would be the Arizona Cardinals. They should be 2-0. They played the Saints and the Panthers, and as Jerm alluded to earlier, they almost lost that game. Their next stretch of games, 49ers, Seahawks, Titans, Colts, Packers, Cowboys, Seahawks. Like, they might lose the next 5 or 6. Like they might just do that. I think, and again, this really has everything to do with coaching. Like I am not, who's their coach? Jonathan Gannon? I'm not a Jonathan Gannon guy by any stretch of the imagination. You can tell because I didn't even know that he was the coach. I almost said it was Shane Steichen. Like I just don't, I have yet to believe, you know what it is? Ever since the Cardinals started the season 7-0, and that clip of JJ Watt pacing up and down the sideline, like so pumped and so amped, and they just completely fell apart. Like ever since that, I've been done with the Cardinals hype train early in the season. Like this is what they do. They beat bad teams. They look really good in September and October. And then it gets to November, December time, holidays start coming around, and they forget how to play football. This is a fraudulent football team. Like they're going to end up being dead last. They're probably not going to win more than 70 games this year. And we're going to come back at the end of the season and be like, Jerm's going to be like, well, what happened to the Cardinals? And I'm going to be the guy that has to come up here and say, well, they beat the Saints and the Panthers to start the season. And then they played good football teams and got slapped around. The Cardinals are absolutely the most fraudulent 2-0 football team in the NFL right now.
When the new GTA or Call of Duty comes out, expect a down slump from Kyler Murray. That's exactly right. Adam, most fraudulent 2-0 team.
Yeah, Marcus really took the cake there, man. I think it's really got to be the Arizona Cardinals when, again, you look at their schedule and who they've beat. It was kind of like when the Saints were a fraudulent 2-0 team last year. Ironically, you beat the Panthers and then you beat the Cowboys, who ended up having one of the worst defenses in the National Football League, and the Saints went on a stretch of losing 7 straight games, ended up losing to the Panthers for that 7th straight win. Dennis Allen got let go, so it was very clear that they were fraudulent. But it's hard not to maybe want to jump on top of a team like when you take a look at, here are the standings here. Hold on real quick. Where was it? The Bengals was really the other team that I was considering, but it's like, Burrow's going to come back. Burrow is going to do the thing that he always does. He's going to limp into the season, or he's going to end up getting banged up in the beginning of the season. And then from weeks like 7 through 12, he's going to break out. The Bengals have already lost too many games, but he's going to have something like the stats he had last year. And Jamar Chase is going to be a Triple Crown contender, but they're already going to be too far out of it. I don't think that makes them fraudulent because they're probably going to compete down the stretch. And then when you look at the Colts as well, they feel fraudulent because we know Daniel Jones is not a top tier quarterback. But when you look at when Daniel Jones has been in the right coaching situation, Brian Daboll, who got the best out of him up until this point, and now Shane Steichen, who has been a quarterback whisperer outside of Anthony Richardson, who I just even wonder is coachable at this point, but it's not very, it's not a head scratcher anymore considering how Daniel Jones has come out in these 2 weeks to see why he was able to win the job. So yeah, it's the Cardinals as the most fraudulent 2-0 team. And again, I hate to say that because I like a lot of the talent that the Cardinals have, but they're just, again, the epitome of average when it comes to the quarterback position, which is, again, so unfortunate knowing how talented Kyler Murray can be.
So it's funny that you bring that up. Talk about fraudulence. Cardinals is probably an easy answer. I'm just going to put them on fraud watch. You just said it. The Cowboys weren't very good last year. Nobody's really expecting much because they had low expectations.
God.
We just talked about how Kansas City's the weakest they've ever been.
Oh my God, bro.
A lot of grace has been given to the Philadelphia Eagles with their non-starting 21st ranked offense.
My God.
Could be fraudulent. That's all I'm saying. We're talking about level of competition.
Dude.
We're not holding anybody accountable for what they did last year. As in case of Daniel Jones, you can't say he was sucked on the Giants. He's great now. Like, we're not holding people accountable for last year.
Not great now. He is not great now.
Hey, Adam Lewis, when this show is over, go ahead and take a look at the quarterback rankings and let me know where Daniel Jones ranks in all the quarterback stats, and then apologize to me.
Do you see that? He upholds
there
his
is
agendas
absolutely
with stats.
no.
Bert, give me one bold take for week 3.
Hold on. Let me
the
two of you,
Josh Allen ain't elite and point to his numbers for it.
Daniel Jones, aside from how many touchdowns he has thrown, is in the top 5 quarterbacks ranked in the NFL season.
I'm not worried about Daniel Jones right now, Bert.
Robert. We're only talking
about
right now.
Be worried about him. We're going.
What I am trying to figure out, for the life of me, I can't understand the guy. Okay, hold on. Let me just. I just want to make sure I have my facts straight here. Just let me get my facts straight here. Okay, the guy who says that competition matters.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who, since he won the Super Bowl or since he lost in the Super Bowl, has been riding Joe Burrow's jockstrap about his inability to stay healthy early in the season. The guy who hates when his favorite Buffalo Bills don't win games in convincing fashion against teams they should beat, like inferior teams. That guy, the same guy who actually gave the Cowboys a little bit of credit for how they played against the Eagles in that first game and quite literally said they should have won that game. That guy is now saying that the Eagles are the most fraudulent 2-0 football team when we all here agree, because you said it, that the Arizona Cardinals shouldn't even be 2-0 because they barely beat the Panthers. But somehow that team is less fraudulent of a 2-0 football team than the Eagles, who actually looked relatively okay in their wins. When you just said 30 minutes ago, the Cardinals shouldn't even be 2-0.
I got you, but that's not fraud. We weren't expecting anything of the Cardinals, which is why they were surprising 2-0. The reason why
the Cardinals, by your measurement, your words, rewind the tape, your words, the Cardinals shouldn't even be 2-0.
The question
was
was
lost thanks to Xavier Legette and his coon-eating self and the Carolina Panthers. And now you're telling me that the Eagles are the most fraudulent team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
You don't believe
they're not the reigning defending champions, bro.
You don't believe that. You can't convince me that you believe that.
The question was earlier surprising.
They won the Super Bowl, but they don't want the Super Bowl right now.
The surprising, it's not the Stanley Cup. They don't carry it around with them. Like they hand out new ones. They don't just.
Lombardi just doesn't sit in the locker room.
They give them a replica. It's not Stanley's Cup. It's different. But anyway, surprising didn't mean good. Did I say the Cardinals were good? I said it was surprising because
you said they shouldn't be a 2-0 football team.
Right. But
should the Eagles be a 2-0 football team right now? Yes or no?
No. The Chiefs should have beat
why
them.
Shouldn't they be a 2-0 team?
Because they're not that good right now, which is why they're fraudulent.
Which of their two losses, which of their two wins,
the Chiefs.
Are the Chiefs better than the Panthers?
Yeah.
So
what does that mean?
if the Chiefs, the team that you think should have beat the Eagles, are better than the Panthers, the team that you think should have beat the Cardinals, how on earth are the Cardinals, a team that none of us expect to win their next 4 games, by the way, is not more fraudulent of a 2-0 football team than the Philadelphia Eagles, whose loss should be to the Super Bowl runner-up from last year, who even with all of their deficiencies are better than the team who you think should have beat the Cardinals on the same day.
You're making my argument for me. We're not the Cardinals shouldn't be 2-0, and they are. That's not fraudulent because they're supposed to be 0-2. The Eagles, according to you, reigning defending champions, are supposed to be the best team in the NFL. Did we just say the Chiefs were good this year?
Marcus,
no, they haven't looked
Marcus to Dwayne without
they haven't looked good. And then I said the Cowboys, we all agreed earlier, they played well, but they haven't really looked good, especially coming off of last year. So the same logic of
a team who picked top 5 in the draft last year. I'm not understanding the logic.
Because people still think the Eagles are a top 5 team in the NFL based on the fact that they won the Super Bowl last year. And look at every power ranking. Go look at them.
How many undefeated teams are there in the NFL right now?
Let's see. The Eagles?
There's like 6.
There's 6 undefeated teams.
Everyone in the NFC West besides the Seahawks are undefeated. The Eagles are undefeated. The Bengals are undefeated.
So would you rank who's 1-1? Give me who's 1-1.
Hold on, time out.
Who's 1-1 right now? Just tell who's 1-1. I'm done with your Eagles rhetoric. Who's 1-1?
Broncos are 1-1. The Ravens.
So hey, do you think the Broncos are better than the Cardinals? Should the Cardinals be ranked ahead? I got you. Should the Cardinals be ranked ahead of
teams right now?
Should the Cardinals be ranked ahead of the Broncos? Do you think they're better?
Undefeated teams right now?
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Bills, Bengals, Packers, Colts, Chargers, Rams, Cardinals, Eagles, Niners, and Bucks.
Okay, of the 10 undefeated teams, Jerm, where are the Eagles in that? Of the 10 teams that are undefeated?
Let's see. Bills, Ravens. Give me the ones after that.
Ravens aren't undefeated.
Oh, Raven. No, yeah, the Bills beat the Ravens. Hold on. Let me look at
Bills, Bengals, Packers, Colts, Chargers, Rams, Cards, Eagles, Niners, Bucks.
They're probably 5th behind both LA teams the Packers, and the Bills, and even then, I think the Colts have looked better than the Eagles.
Get out of here. I'm done. Let's go to the next segment. Let's go. I'm done.
Bert, give me one bold prediction for NFL Week 3.
Giants beat Kansas City and mayhem breaks loose.
Thank you, Bert, for being the voice of reason. Adam.
I think the Lions are going to dog walk the Ravens and shock the world.
Ooh.
I actually think that too. I was thinking about that too. I don't know about dog walk, but I think the Lions will.
I'm talking like 45-7, like beating the.
No. I don't think about that.
Okay.
You said bold. You said bold. We just came out of an ignorant segment right to another one. So here we go. I'm continuing it.
Dwayne Marcus.
No, my bold prediction. I agree with Bert. I think the Giants are gonna beat the Chiefs by 2 scores. Might be 3. Like their defense looked good again in week 1 against the Commanders. They held them to 21 points, and their offense put up 37 in Dallas. Like Dallas's defense is probably on par with the Chiefs defense right now, and the Chiefs offense certainly on par with the Commanders offense right now. So I think Russ and Malik Neighbors have been one of the better quarterback wide receiver duos in the league this year. My only concern with this is, and maybe Bert, you can help me out here. First of all, why is Devin Singletary still playing football? Number 1.
Yo.
And number 2, where did the Giants find Tyrone Tracy? And why is he playing football? Like, that's my only concern, is their running back room sucks. But aside from that,
there's no depth there.
If we can get a vintage Russell Wilson Sunday Night Football performance, but I think we can, I think that the Giants can absolutely can beat the Chiefs.
At home.
And then, Jerm, then you can start to panic. Because losing to the New York Football Giants, no matter what.
I mean, I don't know. Outside of that last big interception, Russell Wilson might have unlocked something, man. Statistically, the best game he's ever played. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they've unlocked something. Yeah, Giants. That was mine. That the Kansas City Chiefs will be 0-3. I think the Giants will beat them. I know Dwayne Marcus yelled at me for being a stat guy all of a sudden, just out of the blue.
I just want some consistency, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, that's one thing I'll give Jerm. Jerm is consistent.
No, he's.
I will give the brother
I am consistent.
No,
I am consistent.
He might be spewing shit, but he's consistent.
I'm consistent.
Brother's consistent.
Jerm's the opposite of consistent.
I'm the model of consistency.
No, you're not.
He said I'm the model of consistency.
No,
the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-7 versus the New York Giants when the Giants are playing at home. Just little.
How many of those wins are just if you know how many of those games have been with?
I didn't look that deep. I just looked it up to justify my argument and make me look good. So I have no idea.
Fine. I mean, I don't disagree. I was just wondering like how many times, because I know there was that one game that they played against the Giants where like there was like no punts and the Giants looked really good in that game. And the Chiefs looked really bad.
I didn't look that far deep. I just kind of was looking at like, is this a possibility? Just one that, just not to agree. Another one that I kind of had it jot down. Carson Wentz puts himself back on the map and takes over that starting job from JJ McCarthy with a. Obviously, I think they're going to win, but I think he's going to look really good doing it too. I think he's going to put Carson Wentz back on the map type game. That's my bold prediction for week 3. I think he will throw. I think he's going to throw like 4 touchdowns versus the Lions. And he's going to, or not the Lions, the Bengals. I'm sorry. I think he's going to throw like 4 tutties, and Carson Wentz's back is going to be all over the Minnesota Times. And
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bucket of doom question for you.
Okay.
It's against the rules, but I want to ask anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Could I, just one time only, because I'm really struggling with this Lions-Ravens thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Could I get a new team if I don't like it? Keep the Ravens. Just
hell no.
Wait, okay.
Try to get that off.
Okay, wait. Can I do it and not get a single toss back the rest of the season, no matter what?
Oh yeah, I like that. Bert?
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if I like that.
He wants to toss the Ravens back.
That's
because
ballsy.
of his.
Okay, can I?
Week 2, give it all up for no
okay,
tossbacks.
Maybe not for the rest of the season. Can I do it for can I take one and I can't put one back for the next like 3 weeks? Because the rest of the season is kind of tough.
Hell no. Rest of the season or nothing. Rest of the season or nothing.
4 weeks.
Rest of the season.
The rest of the season. Wait, when's the Ravens bye week? When's the Ravens bye?
Oh, so maybe we do it up until their bye week.
When's the bye? If it's a reasonable bye week, can I get
think
it
it's a
until the
late
Ravens?
one.
I think it's like week 11.
Yeah,
Can
that's
I,
what
if
was
it's
thinking
week
too.
11, can I just go week 11, no tossbacks? Because the rest of the season's kind of crazy.
It's
The
7.
Ravens bye week is week 7. No thanks.
7.
No
Till
thanks.
Thanksgiving.
How many games is that?
Till Thanksgiving?
No, that's October 19th.
Thanksgiving. That's pretty much the entire season.
No, the week 7.
That's half the year.
That's week 7. No,
Week
October
7.
19th is October 19th. So you're talking about going till Thanksgiving?
October 19th is 4 weeks from now. So that's week 6. Thanksgiving's the end of November. That's another 4 weeks. That's week 10.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So you're saying you want to keep it until Thanksgiving and not their bye week?
No, he wants to throw
I'm
the
saying
Ravens back.
I want to throw the Ravens back. And if I don't like the team I get, I'll keep them. But if we do this, no matter what, I won't get another throwback until Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So-
another throwback. Okay.
So 2.5 months from now.
So basically, he wants to see if he gets a better team on the throwback, and if he
It's
doesn't
not
like
even
it,
that.
he
It's
gets
not
to
the,
keep
I
the
just want a
Ravens.
better. I just want a better matchup. It's not the team.
He's scared of the Lions. That's
I just.
all that is.
It's not. I just don't like the matchup. I'm not a Ravens fan, and I don't want to have to. Bro. Just please sleep on it. Sleep on it, and let me know tomorrow.
I mean, it's a fun game where we pick little helmets out of a hat. We can make up a new rule now. I really don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Like,
Like,
please.
yeah.
I will let you throw this
Jerm?
back. If you don't like it, Thanksgiving.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Oh, pull the Giants. Please pull the Giants.
Please don't pull the Giants. I'm not good with that. I want the Giants to win this week.
The Browns.
Oh, son of a!
See you Thanksgiving, folks.
Why did you throw the Ravens